Jeff Younger. We first found out about you because your ex-wife wanted to give your son hormone treatment, puberty blockers. Tell us more about what you know, because many of us don't know what exactly is taking place here and why you are fighting for the very survival of your son to live a normal life.
Well, I'm still getting Republican representatives, Holland, who are saying that it's not happening. So, I just use common sense. I mean, really? So people are building $60 million clinics for no commercial activity at all? Like, it doesn't even make sense. But here, I'll give you some examples. I like to actually use real world examples. I was in a trial in 2019. We brought in the best experts in transgender medicine on both sides of the issue were there. We asked Johanna Olsen-Kennedy directly, I asked her personally in a deposition, sworn deposition, I said, how many pubescent girls have you referred out for total mastectomies? And she said, well, I don't know, I don't really know. So typically in a deposition, here's what you do. You go, well, was it greater than 5,000 or less than 5,000? So I whittled her down, and so finally she said, well, it's around 250. So she had personally, that's just her, one doctor, had personally referred 250 pubescent girls for total mastectomies. So I then asked her, how many boys have you referred out for sex change surgeries, pubescent boys? And she said, I don't know, 3/4 of the girls. It's a huge, huge problem. I want to ask you to think about two things here. One, what are we to make of professions in the state of Texas that will do this to children? The medical profession is doing this to children. The psychology profession created the theoretical apparatus to justify it and are pushing children towards chemical castration all over the state. What are we to think about these professions? The Texas legislature regulates professions.
That's right.
And we give professions special privileges in this state. And we need to ask ourselves if psychologists are deserving of having a profession anymore.
That's right.
Are their results scientific? I can tell you they're not. They have a crisis of replication. Other than behavioral psychology, the vast majority of their studies don't replicate beyond 50%, which means it's random. 50% is just flipping a coin. Some of their top results don't replicate at all, have never been replicated after hundreds of attempts. We have to ask ourselves whether we should be even giving licenses for psychologists and whether they should be allowed to testify in courts after what they've done to our children. And we need to be thinking about how we're going to discipline the people who have done this to our children, and how we're going to deal with that. Because a massive backlash is coming for the legislature if they don't do this and punish people who hurt our kids on a mass and industrial scale.